What's going on, you guys? The Demigod back on Demigod ENT, and today I'm bringing you another movie review. So today we're going to be doing a movie review for the brand new 2021 film Candyman. Now, this film is a continuation from the original 1992 Candyman, one of my favorite horror slash thriller movies of all time. A highly underrated movie. If you haven't watched the original 1992 version of this film, make sure you go out and check this out immediately, because that is one of my favorite classics of all time. It stands the test of time, unlike a lot of slashers, a lot of horror and thriller movies. A lot of them, if you go back and watch them from the 70s, 80s, 90s, other than like some classics like The Shining and things like that, another one of my favorites, they stand the test of time. Something very hard to do, especially in this technological age. So all that being said, man, I am very excited to be bringing you guys this review. I just got out of the theater from going to witness this film. I came right on camera to give you guys this review. So all that being said, let's hop into this review, man. Let's go. So first things first is we're going to discuss the plot for this movie. The plot for this movie is, in present day, a decade after the last of the Cabrini towers were torn down, Anthony and his partner move into a loft in the now gentrified Cabrini. A chance encounter with an old-timer exposes Anthony to the true story behind Candyman. Anxious to use these macabre details in his studio as fresh grist for paintings, he unknowingly opens a door to a complex past that unravels his own sanity and unleashes a terrifying wave of violence. Now, this film right here was extremely powerful, man, from start to finish. The way the director, which by the way I'll speak on her a little later, she did a fantastic job, by the way, but the way the director tied in everything from the first movie, because this is a continuation from the first movie, she tied in everything perfectly. This movie is pretty much a love letter to the original version of this film, the 1992 version. So that being said, she tied that in with modern day Chicago, what it's like in Chicago nowadays. And by the way, the shots, the still shots or long drawn out scenes that she has of Chicago are beautiful in this. She really highlighted the city. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if she was from the city, honestly, because it seemed like she had so much love for it. You could just tell through the filmmaking. And then of course brings us back to the Cabrini Green projects from the original movie. Man, he is still haunting this damn neighborhood. He just won't go away, or hell, he will go away for a little, but something always summons him back out. He always gets drawn back there, and it is just amazing to see. I mean, if you are a fan of the first movie as much as I am, you are going to love this movie, I personally think. And with that being said, seeing our main character of this film, Anthony, who I'll talk about the actor on that later, he did a fantastic job. He is pretty much this haunted or troubled artist inside of this movie, and he just gets drawn to this legend. He starts researching it, diving too deep into it, learning way too much about it than you would want to learn, because for those of you who know, once you learn too much and once you summon him, you are going to go insane, similar to poor Helen from the first movie, which by the way, they do happen to mention her quite a lot inside of this film, which I personally love, because hey, anything that has to do with the original, I'm in for. So I really think these movies just tie together so perfectly. You could watch them back to back and really get something out of both of them. And in fact, I'm going to have to go watch this again. Quite honestly, I'm going to watch the original again, and then I'm going to go out and see this movie one more time and possibly bring you guys a spoiler review after I see it a second time. I'm not quite sure if I want to do a spoiler review after just the first viewing, because there's a lot to unpack here. Also, another thing the director ties into this movie is police brutality, because that of course is just sewn and woven into the whole story of Candyman. And she really, man, this was a very powerful film. It really was. And so let's go ahead and discuss the director of this film. So the director of this film, Dacosta, is I believe how you pronounce her name. She did a fantastic job. I'm so glad that she was the director of this film. Plus, I don't feel like we get enough melanated female directors in Hollywood. So that being said, she filled her position perfectly here. It was the perfect person for this film. By the way, this is a pretty much all black cast here, very powerful, with of course some other ethnicities in here and there, but overall the main majority of this cast is black actors, which I really appreciated personally myself. And so man, I really can't praise her enough for the work she did on this film. I'm not sure if Jordan Peele went out and sought her out and picked that director himself. Maybe he did have something to do with that. However, if he did, shout out to Jordan Peele for that, which, by the way, I appreciate Jordan Peele too. He, of course, wrote this movie and produced this movie. Shout out to him for bringing Candyman to a whole new generation, exposing this story and this classic tale to a whole new generation. Very powerful stuff here, man. I really just love this movie, man, to be completely honest. And so let's go ahead and discuss the cast of this film. So starting with the character of Anthony, played by Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. I believe I'm pronouncing your name correctly there, brother. I apologize if I'm not, but he is an American actor and he does play our protagonist here, Anthony. And man, what he brought to this role was just magnificent. Magnificent! 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 Seeing how he just loses his sanity diving into this story here, and just from start to finish, him being this troubled artist and how it all comes out in his work, and you know, he's painting all these images that are just coming to him and he's feeling more inspired than ever. It's just taking over his life, man. I really related heavily to his main character there with how artistic he was. And that being said, let's go ahead and discuss his spouse in this film, his significant other, played by Teyonah Parris. She plays his spouse, Brianna. She did a great job in here too. She was very supportive. In fact, in this movie, she's even taking care of him, being his financial support, kind of holding up his stability so he could pursue his art career, and even helping him out a ton in his career, making his art, you know, get more exposed, get more exposure, get out there more to more people. And she was just a great addition to this film. She did her job perfectly with what she was given by the script. And speaking more on the cast here, the original antagonist himself, Todd, makes an appearance back in his role for just a split second. You know, he makes a cameo in here. I hope that's not too spoilery because this is a non-spoiler review. However, I just have to give him a shout out because I love that original actor. He does such a great job as the character, and I'm glad that they, you know, paid homage to him and paid homage to the whole original film as a whole inside of this film, man. I really loved that. And so the original mother from the 1992 film, she does make an appearance here, played by Vanessa Estelle Williams, and I love seeing her reprise her role as this caring mother, and just seeing how young she was in the first movie, and she even looks so young now in this movie 20 damn years later. And it's just really cool to see, man, all these characters from the first movie come back to play in this one, to make cameos and really add a lot to this film. And there's a few more in here also. Helen Lyle from the first movie, they talk about her very heavily inside of this film. They pay a ton of respect to her character from the original film, and she even story-wise plays a lot into this movie, into where we end up by the end of this movie. And it's kind of her original story that inspires Anthony to seek out her legend after he originally hears it. And those are pretty much all the characters I want to touch on. If I missed out on anybody, I apologize to you. And hey, I have a lot of respect for you for even being inside of this movie, because this movie meant a lot to me, man, as you could tell. And so with that being said, that brings us to the official Demigod ENT rating for this film. I rate 2021's Candyman a 10 out of 10. It gets the seal of approval from Demigod. It gets the masterpiece rating, and I would highly recommend you go out and check this film, go out and support this film. And I hope that we can get a sequel for this film, man, because like I said, I'm going to go out and see this film at the very least one more time, just to help out with the box office and hopefully get a sequel here. And who knows, I'll probably end up seeing it a third time, a fourth time. You never know. I've done that with quite a few films that I've loved, such as 2019's Joker. If you could see it right there, I have a poster of 2019's Joker, one of my favorites. I went and seen that 6 times in theater, a ridiculous amount of times. Probably watched that movie more times than anyone should. And so all that being said, man, I didn't want to hop into spoilers at the end here. I would like to save that for another video if I'm going to do spoilers at all, because I want to see it one more time before I go ahead and dive into spoilers. But with all that being said, I appreciate y'all for watching this video, man. If you don't know what I do here on Demigod ENT, I do trailer reactions, show reactions, movie reviews, movie news, and unboxing videos. So if you're interested in any of that, you're in the right place, man. Hit subscribe, hit the like button, show this video some love. I drop multiple videos a day on this channel, so that's what you can expect out of me. And if you don't already know, I am the Demigod, the chosen one, here on Demigod ENT, and I'm out of this thing, man. I appreciate y'all for watching with me. More videos coming soon. Stay tuned. Peace.